Hey everybody, it's Norm from Tested here, and I have a quick 3D printing project for you today. We're based tested out of San Francisco, and one of our most famous landmarks, one of my favorite landmarks in the world, is the Golden Gate Bridge. I have looked for all different representations of the bridge. I have lots of models of it at home. I have some wall art paintings, and every time I walk around the city and walk into a gift shop, I see what different versions of the Golden Gate Bridge they might have. And since we have 3D printers, I've also been looking for a great 3D model of the bridge. And there are many online of varying quality. The best one I found is this one that I saw on Maker World. It comes from 1208 Studios. And this model, this pylon, has more detail than any other Golden Gate Bridge model I've seen, including all that Art Deco modeling. They did a really creative job in designing this into multiple pieces to print, so it actually comes apart and prints standing up in these pieces that fit together perfectly. I was able to print these without any supports. This is printed in a Bamboo Lab red marble color, which kind of emulates, to my eye at least, the international orange of Golden Gate Bridge. And what I love about this model is not only does it have all the detail here, the layering and all the dimensional detail of the pylon itself, it includes all the truss work down here as well, underneath the bridge, as well as the pedestrian and bicycling walkways, the sidewalks that flank either side of where the cars go on, this asphalt. I printed in multiple colors, so this is that red marble, there's a matte black, and then a white marble for the sidewalk, which I also use for the base. It's actually scaled down a little bit from the original model because I wanted to print 2 of these, and it's about a day worth of printing with these different colors on a standard Bamboo X1C. But if I was to have 2 of these and want to get the whole bridge, boy, that would be really big, because the bridge, while this is in real life about 230 meters tall, the actual length of the bridge is more like 3,000 meters long. It's it's almost 3 kilometers. And that's a really long bridge, and that would be like 10 to 12 feet at this scale. So I've been looking for what would be an appropriate scale to have the full version of the bridge, and someone actually has that as a kit and actually sent it to us. So this comes from Day 3D Lab, and I love already in the packaging, this is a 4 color filament print just on the label. This is black, red, gold, and white. You can tell it's 3D printed. But inside here is, as you can see, it's a 6-foot wall art kit representation of the Golden Gate Bridge designed by David Yoon. And he actually wrote us a lovely note. He said, "Dear Tested Team, I wanted to send you a heartfelt thank you for all the amazing content you create, from the informative and in-depth reviews of printers to fun and engaging live streams. Everything you do helps make Tested a true community." And what he's enclosed is a Golden Gate Bridge wall art kit that he's poured years of work into. It's something he's actually been designing since 2015 and iterated on, and he hopes it brings us the same sense of fun and curiosity that our videos have brought him. So he makes his kit locally in San Francisco. He sells it on his Etsy page. It's pre-printed, but it does require some assembly, and he has some videos on his YouTube channel on how to assemble them. But that's what we'll be doing today. I'll be taking a look at all these different pieces and finally having a full scaled representation of the entire bridge, at least here in the office. So let's go open this package, knoll these parts out, and get to assembly. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got here. Got all the pieces laid out, and there are a reasonable number of pieces, but let's start with the pylons. These already come mostly assembled, so it's already looking really good. I love that, again, retaining some of that Art Deco detail, very dimensional. I can tell that this is the color's great. It says it's printed in PETG, so really nice and durable and strong, a little weather resistant. Got a little bit of that light brown for the base of the pylon here. And these in itself already pretty nice. Got 2 of these, very nice. And then of course all of the suspension cabling right here, again also in PETG. These are, let me see how these are printed. Printed flat like this. So a little bit of blowing, a little bit of flex. They do feel a little delicate, so I'm gonna be careful not to break any of these suspension lines. But several of these, of course, one on each side, like the arms of the bridge as you're driving across them. A bunch of these clips. So everything's held together with clips, no glue. So these will be clipping the pieces together. A bunch of bags of different clips, and then the roads, of course. So multicolor print. These are printed almost inlaid into each other. And he's done a bit of ironing. So, no, I think he's probably printed flat. That's what it is. So this is red. Again, 4 colors, the same 4 colors, red, black, white, and gold that he used for the front of the box label. But it's smooth here, which led me to believe there was some ironing. But then seeing the texture on the back tells me he actually printed it flat on his surface. And this is the top of the print. So along stretches of road, you have the truss work as well. Those will go under the road pieces. And then a couple nice touches like a label here with a silhouette of the cityscape, San Francisco behind it, multicolor print. Again, I'm trying to see, maybe this one does have ironing because it's dimensional. The gold part sticks out and the white part sticks out above that black backing. But it's smooth, so must have done some ironing with the nozzle for this plaque. And then a couple, these are mounts for having this wall mounted. So the bridge can sit in here, and then a little box of thumbtacks if you want to use those to wall mount. What's actually extra he threw in that I didn't realize are some these magnets and keychains. So Market Street, one of our long streets, the main corridor of San Francisco. This is what our street signs look like. So they're nice. One's a magnet and one is a keychain. Very nice, multicolor prints, as well as a set of these magnets representing some of the different neighborhoods in San Francisco. Oh, these are really lovely. Multicolor prints as well. Double-sided, flat on one side on the bed of the print. Here's the Castro, beautiful. Oh, the Mission. It's our local neighborhood right here. Look at those colors. That's Mission Dolores right there. And dimensional on one side of the multicolor print, flat on the other side. Haight-Ashbury, also famous neighborhood. North Beach. And the Sunset. Oh yeah, I'm keeping that one. These are really great. Did not expect these at all. And they're a little bonus that David threw in. So I'll be sharing these around the office. Okay, so let's look at the instructions and start putting the pieces to the pylons. Okay, so we have one section of the bridge done, and I think it's a good time to talk about how this comes together and the clever ways in which David has designed and clearly iterated on this assembly. First of all, the pylon, like we showed, comes fully printed, so that's already looks great. The centerpiece of this road goes right in between it, so that makes sense. It crosses right in between. And then we attach some of the truss pieces that slot underneath. And this is where I first saw some of that great iteration, because as I was sliding the truss pieces into place, and there's a groove under the road here, it perfectly notched in. I could tell that he's tested the tolerances to a point where when I get to a point I can hear almost a click, I know exactly when it has fit into place, and there's no question that it is actually in the right spot. So that's great. Then the cable lines get connected, and they get connected via 2 brackets on each side. There's a bracket at the top of the pylon here. You can see that notches again perfectly in. And then this bracket, which hangs, and this clip hangs from each of the suspension cables, and that locks the truss, the cable, as well as the road here all together. Oh, one final detail I want to show you. The last clip that connects the end of these cables to the pylon is a clip that's in the shape of the pedestrian sidewalk. So people can walk across the Golden Gate Bridge, walk along it, and when they reach a pylon, the sidewalk bends to the outside, wraps around the outside of the pylon. And that wraparound, which you can see right there, that is actually, in this design, a clip that secures both sides of the suspension cables. Super easy to assemble so far, no glue, and as of right now, these 14 pieces are locked pretty well together. I mean, I don't see any piece shaking off, so it already looks really nice. So we're gonna make another one of these and then connect them together. Okay, so here we have it, our two halves of the Golden Gate Bridge, each roughly 3 feet long, and the rest of this, super straightforward. I really appreciate what David did in terms of not only his thoughtful instructions, but the hardware he designed to attach all these together. Like the first set of the suspension wires, the cables, these are all connected via clips, so the truss work, the road, and the cables are all locked in, but each of these clip systems are different based on where they are and what they need to do. So when they're joining two sections of truss, there's a little piece of plastic in the middle to make sure the truss actually locks into place. And then when it reaches the end, it actually leaves room for that cable to go all the way through. This is really long, and it's about to get longer. So let's move the camera and clear the table and get this whole bridge put together. Oh my God, it's a moment of truth. A moment of truth. Okay, there we have it. A 6-foot-long scale model of the Golden Gate Bridge. I think if we do some of the math, the Golden Gate Bridge from end to end is like 9,000 feet long. So we're talking about 1/1500th scale is roughly what this is. I hope the math is correct. This is super impressive. I mean, the thing that I'm marveling at is I thought that we could do a Golden Gate Bridge with the pylons this tall and get a full, accurate 2-scale representation. And that's just not reasonable. When you're driving across it, it doesn't feel this long. The pylons look so tall when you're driving underneath them, and yet it is actually much, much longer than it is tall. Wow, look at this. And this is such a great model. I know I've seen on David's YouTube channel that he even has a mod for this where he can put a programmable LED strip. And so if you, on top where the road is, so it lights up and illuminates as if they are cars and headlights that are driving across. That's super cool. Maybe we'll do the upgrade at a future time. But what I'm marveling at is where we've come and how we've come so far as 3D printing enthusiasts. It was recently Bay Area Maker Faire, and I was there with my children, and I was chatting with another parent, and it was someone who had not been exposed to so much 3D printing and rapid prototyping, all the machines that we've been privileged enough to see here over the past 15 years of running Tested, and their mind was blown. They didn't realize how far 3D printing had come. And maybe it's something we take a little bit for granted too, because we forget sometimes how far we've come. I was thinking back to when we first covered the first MakerBot, and there was, Brie Pettis and the MakerBot replicator that we saw in their bot cave in New York, and the cover of Wired magazine. And the whole idea was that 3D printers could become these appliances in the home that would unlock, like computers did, fabrication for not just adults, but for kids everywhere. And we have come so far where the machines are really appliances today. They are turnkey. You're spending much more time making stuff, printing stuff, than you are fixing and tuning and building the machines, which is still fine and great. But I love that someone can download a file and print this incredible representation of the Golden Gate Bridge, or someone can work for many years and design a kit that they can then make and sell as an actual product. That is really impressive. So well done, David. Thanks so much for watching Tested, and thank you for your kind words about what our videos have meant to you. And thank you for sending this Golden Gate Bridge. I'm gonna mount this somewhere at home along my other Golden Gate Bridge replicas. And if you have great designs you want to see us check out, or kits you want us to check out, please feel free to post them. We're always on the lookout for new makers and people doing fun and interesting things with 3D printing. Until then, we'll see you next time. I'm Norm, and see you on the other side.
Thank you guys so much for watching. One of my favorite things we make in our Tested store are demerit badges. These are like scout badges, but for screwing stuff up, because screwing up is not just a part of the making process, it is intrinsic to it, and we like to celebrate that. We've got 27 so far in the Supervisors bundle that you can go buy right now by clicking on the link in the description, but we also have a booster pack of some brand new patches. This is the demerit badge for burning off your eyebrow. I am proudly sewing that to all of my clothes. This is the demerit badge for having a messy workbench, which I do not get today. My workbench is super clean. And we have new octagonal patches that are, yep, merit badges. This is the merit badge for sweeping up your shop. Congratulations, I'm so proud of you. And this, oh my God, this is great. This is the merit badge for creating a clean space on your bench. Hey, we got to take our successes where they come and meet them there. Go to the tested-store.com or adamsavage.com to buy any of these, or click on a link in the description.